Hi everybody, we're coming to you today from beautiful Boulder, Colorado. So we just did a little speaking and music tour and we are here in Boulder. So I want to share with you an idea about Rosh Hashana, which is coming very, very soon, the new year. So let's try to understand a second here. Rosh Hashana, as I said, is the new year, but it is actually known as the Day of Judgment. And the question really is why and where is that from? Because in the Torah, in the Bible itself, it says Yom Truah. It's a day of the blowing of the shofar, the sounding of this call. But it doesn't tell us it's a day of judgment. So I want to understand why is it the day of judgment? And I also want to understand a little bit, what does the shofar do in this process of being the day of judgment? Let's try to understand. So if you started a business, right, then what happened is when you started for a purpose. When time moves and you come to the same starting point 1 year later, you have to assess whether you have accomplished the purpose of what you were doing. Makes for perfect sense. In Hebrew, the word year is shana. Shana is from the word shnaim, two, or repeating. It's a cycle. So what happens is time is essentially like a spiral, meaning that it goes around into certain points that you always repeat every year. Now, it's not called a circle because it's going someplace and it's moving towards something. And that's why it's not only a circle, it's circular as a cycle, but it keeps moving towards a goal. Therefore, when, for example, if you come to Passover, it's the energy of freedom that's in Passover. And so to every point of the season of the year, when you come to, you experience the energy of that time again. So what happened on Rosh Hashana? What happened was Adam and Eve were created. Okay, very nice. So now Adam and Eve were created in that time. We return to that point. So why is the Day of Judgment? It makes perfect sense. Because since they were created for a purpose, now the cycle has come around for humankind to say, are you accomplishing the purpose of what I created you for? It's another assessment. Do you get another year of this effort that you can put in life? What's the budget going to be? What tools do you need? The assessment has to happen when we return to the beginning of the formation and creation of humankind. Therefore, it's the Day of Judgment. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Now, let's understand a little more deeply. So what is this idea of the shofar? Now the shofar, again, it's called a chok. It's a law that the Talmud says God told us to blow the shofar. So I can't exactly tell you the reason, but we are allowed to give deeper understandings into some of the tastes, the taimei mitzvahs, the reasons for some of the commandments. Now I want to explain to you a beautiful analogy. The analogy goes as follows. There was a king, and he had in his kingdom the prince. And when the prince got old enough, what the king did was he put on his royal princely garb and he sent him out into the kingdom to make his way. The prince goes out and he starts hanging out with bad guys. He forgets he's the prince. He's drinking, he's this, he's that, he's gambling. And time passes, a year goes by. And he totally doesn't remember he's the prince at all almost. I mean, he knows, but he's not living like it. His clothes, his princely garb is all damaged and is almost unrecognizable. One day he's sitting playing poker with the boys and he hears this trumpet call. And he says, wait a minute, I know what that is. That's the sound of the king. When the king is coming, they blow the shofar, the coronation sound of the king. I need to get close to him. He's my father. So he says to his friends, I gotta go. I gotta see my father the king. Your father the king? What are you talking about? You're one of the boys. No, I forgot I'm the prince. So he starts to go on his way. He pushes forward. He tries to get in close. And as he's getting closer, he gets to the guy who's the burly watchman there, the guard. He says, what do you want? He says, I got to get in to see the king, my father. I'm the prince. You're the prince, right? Yeah, I'm Elvis Presley. Yeah, no, it's me. I am the prince. Says, no, you're not. Get out of here. And he pushes him into the mud. And the prince falls in the mud and he is just covered head to toe. His princely garb are completely not recognizable. So what does he do at that moment? He has no other options. So what he does is he goes to the deepest part of his essence and he screams out, Daddy! Daddy! Calls out. And the king And the carriage says, stop! Stop the carriage. I recognize that voice. That's my son. That really is the quality of what we're doing when we blow the shofar. What happens is, on one hand, it's the sign that God is close. He's coming to us. It's the blowing of the sound. And then it's our call back. And that's why, if you notice, it's an amazing thing about a shofar. A shofar is an atonal instrument. There are no notes, right? You never see a rock and roll band with a lead shofar player. It doesn't happen. Why? Because it's atonal. It's a primal scream. That's what it is. It's coming from the deepest part of us, what's called kol, as opposed to dibor. Dibor is speech, but kol is the breath, the air, the essence that we're calling out. So therefore, when it comes to this day of judgment, when we're being assessed of what our year will be, God says, I'm close. Hear my call. Hear my, so to speak, primal scream that I want to be close to you. And then we give our primal scream. We want to connect back to you. And the commentaries even say that's why the day Adam and Eve were created, God blew life into them. One of the commentaries say that the blowing of the shofar is God breathing life back into us for another year to give us the right tools and the right experiences and the right abilities to be able to accomplish our purpose. Have a great Shana Tova, and we'll talk later. All the best. Bye.